Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over outreach and why most of you haven't signed your first client yet, or probably will never sign your first client. Specifically talking about info products, so partnering with content creators and influencers to scale their coaching and consulting programs online. So I feel like I should talk on this because most of you are being taught wrong. Most of you are just doing the same thing over and over again, trying to outreach to people, sign your first client, and it's not working, it doesn't happen. And there's a common theme among all of it, which made me want to make this video today. So personally for me, I've signed 5 or 6 clients now, content creators that I personally worked with. In that time, I went from outreaching as a beginner and doing it day in, day out. I had so many no's, I had so many rejections, and I learned what I had to do in order to get somebody's attention, in order to sign a client. And most people will just gatekeep what they do and never actually tell you how you're going to sign a client. So after so much rejection and learning what it means to be good at outreach, I was then able to sign clients like this, that everybody was after, clients with great lead flow, clients that are going to make you a lot of money. So today in this video, we're going to be going over some things that you could implement in order to sign your first client instead of going around in circles, continually doing the same thing over and over again, which is going to get you the same results you've already got. Just a side note as well, if you DM me the word telly on Instagram, I'll send you a link to my free Telegram, which I don't advertise anywhere else. So I give advice, I drop voice notes in there, behind the scenes stuff, how you can scale up your business or start. So if you want that, just DM me the word telly on Instagram to get access to it for free. Anyway, the first point I want to make is that selling info products isn't what it seems, and there was a massive hype and trend last year about growth operating, and the people that were running that space did a great job of marketing it, but they marketed it to you in a way that you would want to buy off them. So they didn't show you the full picture. Now, it's a massive misconception that you need to sign a huge client, like a whale client, as we call them, someone with 500K followers, 1 mil followers, 2 mil followers. And yes, on paper, that would be good. But when you're starting out as a beginner, what are the chances that they're actually going to see your DM or see your message or put their trust in you because you have no leverage? Everybody is selling you on the fact that you should be outreaching to these people. I wouldn't bother. You can outreach to somebody with a small following in a good niche and run a high ticket offer with them. So the first point is stop looking for creators with a huge following that are never going to see your message. You're basically wasting time and you're trying to operate out of luck rather than getting your foot in the door early. When you have results and more clients, then yes, you can sign big clients. But until then, all you need to focus on is learning skills, putting them into practice with smaller creators. So the first point I would make is somebody with 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, you can reach out to them. It's very unlikely that people are going to be in their DMs because most people don't see them as valuable or to have potential to sell info when in fact they do. But so they end up getting overlooked because everyone else in this space that's trying to start out is just reaching out to the bigger influencers. Now that leaves you an advantage because you can outreach to people with a smaller following who probably haven't been contacted before, meaning they're more likely to say yes to you or more likely to even see your message so that you can actually start working with them. Now, another really important point to add to that is the niche that you're outreaching to is probably one of the most important components of the whole thing. Even if you sign a big client, but they're in a bad niche, it doesn't mean anything because you won't make any money. So the niche that you should be looking to outreach to is the make money online niche. Now, I know I've worked with a big fitness influencer who I showed you at the start. Them type of clients are one-off exceptions. When you're first starting out, get a smaller creator, 5 to 10,000 followers, maybe 20, 30, that's fine, who's in a make money online niche, and you'll be able to run up a high ticket offer with them. So why make money online niche is so important, and I know this is a side note, but if you're outreaching to people outside of these niches, then you're just wasting your time anyway. So why it's important is because when you look at social media today, everybody is posting themselves in Dubai, in a Lambo, traveling, money, everything's materialistic. And to be fair, most of these people that are posting them things run an online business. So for the market that would buy info, they're going to be looking at these type of creators as ones they would want to buy into, because finance is a strong pain point for them. So you're keeping up with the trends, and also when you invest money into something you know you can make money back from, you're a lot more likely to opt in for that. Because even if you don't like the program, even if you choose it's not for you down the line, you know you can still make your money back. If you invest into something like fitness or, I don't know, music or something like that, what happens is, if you don't like it in the future, you can't make that money back. You don't get a monetary return. So in terms of increasing conversion rate and having the strongest pain points, you need to be reaching out to people that are in the make money online niche, that can teach people how to make more money. Because ultimately, if you're closing on an offer, then you have more leverage to sell them on the fact that they're just investing their money to learn new information to make them more money. If somebody put you side by side with a fitness influencer and, let's say, a trader, and they were both offering £3,000, and the trader was saying, if you give me £3,000, I'll make you 10k a month, and the fitness influencer was saying, if you give me £3,000, I will get you into the best shape of your life. Based off most people, they're going to choose the trader because that's a stronger pain point for them, especially seeing as the content that is being posted everywhere online now. So if you can outreach to somebody that has 5,000 to maybe 20, 30,000 followers, they're in a micro niche, but they are also they would be selling something on Make Money Online, then that will give you a really good head start. Because what you can do, instead of looking at it like I need to partner with someone with 1 million and set them up a school community, like school communities are dead now. You don't need to do that. You can partner with somebody with 5,000 or 10,000 followers. You can run them up a high ticket offer, selling coaching spots in a one-to-one mentorship in a Make Money Online niche like trading, and you'll be able to get your foot in the door much faster that way. Much faster. You won't have to continually outreach, because these people are more likely to see your message, and then when you run up an offer for them, you're way more likely to make them money if they are selling something that is in the Make Money Online niche, rather than doing it for a fitness influencer. Because ultimately outreach is about signing your first client, but that isn't just enough. When you sign that client, you need to get them results and you need to keep them. And the fastest way to keep a client is to build trust, which is by making them money fast. So if you can find somebody and make them money quickly through a high ticket offer, they will stay around, which will then progress you on your journey in selling info. So that's the first thing that I would say. Don't overlook these small creators. Use it to your advantage to run up a high ticket offer. So the second point that I want to make on outreach that nobody will tell you is the type of places that you're looking for potential creators to work with. So as a person that's going to be selling info, or an info product agency owner, whatever you want to call yourself, it's really important that you understand the 3 main different social media platforms, so TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You understand how they work, the types of traffic that are on these platforms that are viewing your potential clients' content, etc. The reason I say this is because there's a method that works really well for outreach that not many people know about, and not many people, well, if they do know, they won't tell you. So when you think of a content creator or an influencer, your mind will probably go straight to Instagram. And you'll think if they're not big on Instagram, then they're not a content creator or an influencer. Now, maybe in the whole social media world, that is true, but for selling info, that isn't the case. So on TikTok, you're gonna have a lot of low quality leads that, you know, if you can avoid using them, you just push them to the side. So when you're looking for people to work with, you don't really need to worry about looking for creators on TikTok, because they don't have the same selling power as people that post on the other platforms. Now, again, Instagram is very saturated. That is where you'll do most of your DMs. So your outreach, you'll be DMing people on Instagram. So the strategy I'm going to talk about is, instead of thinking about people as influencers or content creators just by being big on Instagram, look at YouTube. YouTube is one of the best platforms for selling a high ticket offer. The reason being is people will sit down consciously and choose to spend time watching and consuming somebody's content for a long period of time. what that happens is the viewer starts building trust with them subconsciously. They almost feel like they know the inside of a person's life. Like, that's why people get so attached to celebrities and influencers, because they'll spend time on YouTube watching them and think that they know the inside of their life. They also get to consume a lot of value from them. If they watch 6-10 minute videos in that specific niche, then they're learning about this niche. They're getting value for almost an hour. Whereas one TikTok video is 30 seconds and you might never remember it again. So the type of person that is watching a YouTube video consistently for a long period of time is the type of lead that you would want to sell into a high ticket program. Now, how does this mean anything for you in outreach? Well, if you have a creator you find that has got 10K subs on YouTube, 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, but they only have a small following on Instagram, they still have huge potential to sell info. So if you can find a YouTube creator that is big, that pulls in good views, but they're small on Instagram, they have the selling power here for you to work with and run up a high ticket offer, but they've got a low Instagram following, which means when you outreach to them, they're very much likely going to see your message and respond. And people are also overlooking them because everyone sees content creators and influencers as just people that are big on Instagram. So people aren't even approaching them, which again gives you a much better advantage of signing your first client. So that's why it's so important you understand these different sources of traffic and where they come from, and actually looking at people on YouTube as still content creators and influencers with the potential to buy, because ultimately that is the strongest platform to sell info on, like for the reasons I've just mentioned. For example, I say this to some of my students. So one of them found somebody that was big on YouTube and they were pulling in like 5 to 7K views a video, which is good. And they were small on Instagram. I think they only had like 800 followers on Instagram. So what did he do? My student reached out to him and ended up signing him because nobody else was approaching him. And then they started working together, and now they're able to, like, they haven't even launched yet and they've already had people buy into the one-to-one program because YouTube has such a strong pull to sell people into a high ticket program. It's a second tip that I would suggest you to go and follow through on in order to sign your first client, because remember, when you're first starting out, you just need to get your foot in the door in any way that you can. And if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same results as everybody else. So you need to do something different. So to be honest, that's a bit of a gem for you. Look for big people on YouTube that have a small Instagram following, and then reach out to them on Instagram and then funnel the traffic from YouTube to a landing page and all of that jazz, and then you'll be able to run a high ticket offer in a way that you wouldn't have expected to. So this kind of brings me on to my next point, which is about doing things that not everybody else is doing. So being creative. Ultimately, outreach is about standing out from the next person that is outreaching to this client, etc. So they're looking at it as, why should I open this person's message instead of this person? So if you're doing the same thing as everybody else, you're going to get the same result. So you need to be creative. How that looks is up to you. But for example, stop DMing people saying, hey, love your content. Hey, how are you? Hey, how was your day? They don't care. Like, they don't know who you are. To them, you're literally a random person asking them how their day is. Cut straight to the point and be intentional about it. Don't look at outreach as a tick box exercise. If you can learn something personal about your creator and show them that you've actually invested time into watching them and knowing who they are, and then you can hook them in with something that stands out from the rest, they're going to give you the time of day and you're going to set a good first impression. Even stupid things like, you could text somebody saying, hey, I found your wallet, and then leave a few spaces and go, nah, only joking, but these are the types of hooks that I would use to convert your audience into a high ticket offer. Like that, something like that is going to sound, it might sound cringe, stupid, whatever, but it's going to stand out instead of just saying, hey, I can build you a school community and take 10%. Bro, they don't even know who you are and they get the same messages all the time. So to them, it's just another kid reaching out that is probably going to not do a very good job. So be intentional and cut straight to the point. If you want to pull somebody in, you need to be creative and then also lead with a bold claim. If you DM them following on from that message style I just mentioned and said, I can add an extra 20K or 50K a month to whatever your offer is, they're going to be more likely to respond to that because you've made a claim, and with a claim comes confidence. So they're going to want to know more about how you do that and how you would help them. So I think being personal, being creative, thinking outside of the box is going to be really important for you. Don't look at outreach as a tick box exercise. You're trying to sign a client. You're not trying to do as many outreaches as possible. It should be quality over quantity. And if you've got an Instagram account that looks like a bot, you have no highlights, no posts, no profile picture, and you're outreaching to people and expecting them to answer you, what are you thinking? Why would they do that? Oh yeah, mate, I can make you an extra 50K a month, but you haven't even got a profile picture, you have no highlights, nothing in your bio. They can't build any rapport with you from the first impression that they get, because to them, you just look like a random person. So there's no trust there, so they wouldn't even bother entertaining it. So that's just another little thing. Don't have a bot-looking Instagram account, because that's not going to get you anywhere. So another thing as well, if you do get into a conversation with a potential client or creator, whatever, and you're talking and things seem like they're going well, they're interested, act with urgency and speed and get them out of the DMs as fast as possible. So give them your phone number and transition the conversation onto WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is a lot more personal. They're more likely to reply on there. DMs get full up quite quick, and when you're in the DMs, you're in a category amongst other people DMing them that are fans or whatever, so you're still based in that category. When you can move them onto WhatsApp, you then become more than just a follower, and you also have more chance of finishing the conversation with them because they're going to see it. They're going to see your message more. And then you want to act with urgency. So get them on a discovery call or a sales call straight away. Don't wait around. If you can meet them in person, go and meet them in person. Speed loves money and it hates friction. The faster you act and the more you act with urgency, don't seem desperate, but just follow through on what you're saying you're going to do. If somebody says they're really interested in working with you and then they say, I can call tomorrow, would that work for you? And you say, no, I can't call until next week, which is 5 days away, they're going to lose interest. And you're also setting the impression that when they would work with you, you're going to take all of that time to finish work or finish setting things up that you promised them you would do. So act with urgency and get out of the DMs as fast as you possibly can. Ultimately, I have been rejected so many times from outreach. When I was first starting out, I had nobody to help me or tell me what I should be doing. And most people stay stuck in that cycle and they never end up signing their first client. So the key takeaways today are: look for people with a smaller following that you can run a high ticket offer for. Look at people who are big on YouTube and small on Instagram, because YouTube has so much selling power. Get creative, personalize things so you stand out and you set a good first impression. Don't beat around the bush, don't be cryptic, tell people exactly what it is you can do, and lead with a bold claim that comes with confidence that would make people want to reply. Don't have a bot account, and also act with urgency, get them out of the DMs as fast as possible as well. So they're the main things that I would say that you need to follow through on in order to get your first client. It's gonna take some time, it's gonna take some volume, but ultimately just keep being persistent. Every time you don't get an open, have a look at why they wouldn't have opened the message, or they open it and they don't respond. Have a look at why it could be, tweak it, make it better, refine it. There are other outreach methods that I do share in my Telegram. Again, you can DM me the word telly on Instagram and I'll send it straight over to you. These methods are even more untapped, which have a really good conversion rate in people seeing their first clients. So if you want to know more about that, then just DM me on Instagram and you can join the Telegram for free. But I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope that you can take these things away and go and sign your first client.